It's not good grim, Sean. It's not good grim.
I'm gonna say, Rod, you've got such a like every cloud has a silver lining. You were like, maybe she'd be nice, and I was like, maybe she wouldn't be nice. Maybe she'd just be
So another Boys on Film review today, reviewing the movie Retaliation. My name is Phil Marriott. Good to have you here. Hello to Sean Vickers and Raj Rudolph. It's a tough one today, guys. It's quite a brutal story, this, starring Orlando Bloom. I have to say, he fell off my radar. I don't really remember seeing many films that he's in. I know he's been in loads of Hollywood blockbusters, but I don't remember many.
He's taking that road of, we'll do a Hollywood blockbuster, then we'll do an indie film. And this is his indie film moment.
I mean, I remember Lord of the Rings. Obviously, that's the obvious one, I guess. But yeah, and Reid from Dinner Ladies. Who knew? But then again, I suppose she's done years and years as well, more recently, a TV show. But yeah, I never really saw her as like this kind of serious drama actress. But my God, she's amazing in this.
I mean, it's quite a dark topic. The idea of sexual abuse, the church, and growing up with that, and how it impacts your everyday life, I think is a very hard topic to put across on camera.
First-time feature directors, aren't they? They're brothers, I think. Ludwig and Paul Shamazian? Don't know how you pronounce his surname, but yeah, done a good job with it.
I think the story arc is decent. Orlando Bloom as the lead, as Malky, I do have problems with, generally. Views of my own. I don't think Orlando Bloom is particularly good as a lead in a movie. And I think he has tried it in the US. There was he made some like Knight's Tale kind of movie, I think, where he got buffed up. And he was pushed into this kind of lead. And I don't think he's great in that kind of role. And I think in this film, he is the lead. And at times, I'm not sure whether he's got those shoulders to carry a movie like this. And so that was part of when I was watching it. I was like, he's portraying and describing and undertaking something which is quite difficult. But I'm not sure whether he's got the chops.
Interesting, because I know that, well, I get the impression that they have had problems with this film because it was made quite a while ago, 2017, I think it premiered at one of the festivals back in that year. And it was originally, I think, called Romans, and then I think it was released in North America. That was obviously last year they released it there. But yeah, it's been on the go for a while, so I don't know what the problems were.
I think it was in Edinburgh International Film Festival 2017, and I think Saban Films picked it up more recently. And I think the cast, from what I can gather from the kind of like ripples, is the cast were really surprised when it got picked up, because I think they didn't think that was going to be the case. But I think there's some really good roles, as you said, like Anne Reid, I think great. Janet Montgomery, who plays Emma, I thought she did a really sterling role. I think Orlando does an okay job. I think about what this movie could have been if it wasn't him in the lead. I don't know. There were moments where I struggled. Let's put it that way.
See, I thought he was great. I really got his performance. I mean, it felt really real to me, and he did seem tormented, and it felt like a torment that went way back, because obviously, this started when he was young. So, he was, I guess, meant to be late 30s, because I know he's mid-40s now, isn't he? And married to Katy Perry. I know that much about Orlando Bloom, the pop trivia. But yeah, it's an interesting character. It's quite there's a lot of depth and a lot of darkness there. Yeah, it felt very powerful to me. I can't say I necessarily enjoyed it, though. I think it was a tough watch.
Yeah, absolutely. It started to lose me in the moment where, I can't even remember the character's name, but he was like the skinnier sort of younger priest that was trying to kept inserting himself into the situation kind of weirdly, trying to like say, you'll never get over this. And I don't know, that whole storyline in of itself, I mean, we could have cut that out if you ask me. I didn't necessarily have a problem with Orlando Bloom. I thought he was fine. I think some of the story elements, some of the graphic story elements sort of really drew me in, because I wouldn't ever expect to see Orlando Bloom in those type of scenes. There's a couple of them. But yeah, I don't know. I started to get lost in a little bit of the relationships that didn't need to be explored there. So yeah, it had its problems for me, but in terms of Orlando Bloom, I thought he was fine.
Can we discuss trailers and the issue with trailers? Because I saw the trailer before I saw this movie, and I don't know whether you guys have seen this, but there's a lot in that trailer that does reveal stuff, and I was predicting something to happen. I don't want to spoil anything, but let's just say that trailer did reveal a lot and spoil a lot for me. And I have a real problem with trailers just revealing too much.
There's those trailers that you see where you basically see the film, and then I always like finish the trailer and go, well, I don't see that now. Because you basically, whoever's doing the trailer editing is like, oh, these are all the juicy bits. I don't really care whether people see it or not. The trailer's going to be great. And then you just go, well, thanks very much. I kind of know the movie. So, yeah. No, I haven't seen the trailer, Phil, but I'm assuming it's a bit like that then, is that it gives you too much?
Yeah.
Totally agreed. Way too much stuff told in the trailer. I mean, it was basically the whole movie wrapped up in 2 minutes. But, yeah, I just wish they wouldn't do that either. I totally agree with you, Phil. What was that film that we saw about the woman who was building the house?
Herself.
Yeah, for me, it just felt like herself had a very tone about it that was very similar, but there's always that bit of hope at the end or throughout that kind of like makes you want to, keep watching the film and, rooting for the underdog and that sort of thing. This film just didn't have it. It was just grim all the way around from start to finish. And I think I would have enjoyed it a little bit more if there was a glimmer of hope, but from the opening scene, it was just all downhill.
Do you know what? I actually don't mind grim. You can just serve me up grim end to end if it's good. So if I'm like, that was horrible, but that was actually a story arc and a narrative, and yeah, not everyone comes up roses, that's okay. I'm okay with it. But it has to be good. And I just didn't get this. And then there was a point for me. So for the viewers, there's a few really graphical moments with Orlando Bloom, which I was like, okay. And then there's a scene with his mother, which I'm not going to, in the middle of the film, probably the pinnacle. And I was like, this is it. If he can nail this moment, this like 7 minutes of film, he will make this film. And for me, he came short. Because that for me was the anchor, because he has a conversation with his mother through whatever means, and that's where all of it comes out. It's all the anger, all of the upset, everything for years that's bottled up comes out in that moment. It's a point in time, and that's where I was like, they've missed the opportunity here.
Did you get the impression that she knew a lot of what happened? I mean, yes. I don't know whether that was obvious. Was it meant to be obvious?
Oh, she totally knew. She was just like, sweep it under the rug.
Yeah.
Don't mess with my nice little perfect life that I built for myself. I don't really care about, what happened with you with the priest. He's a good man.
You're so right. That whole thing, like, he's a good man. And this whole idea of, I was shamed by the neighbours. It's all a bit like, it doesn't really matter what you think. This is my life. Don't rock the boat too much. And yeah, he's a good man. Like, all that is fairly gross,
Yeah, and good man. He has nephews and nieces, and he's normal. You're kind of selling out your son for
exactly
to keep your little normal life happy. Yeah, she really annoyed me, the mother. The more I think about it, I just boils my blood.
To me, that really shows how someone can be so damaged by something that happens like that so way back. Still at his age, just being tormented and having that behaviour with other people as well. It's like his girlfriend that he was with that worked in the pub. And that whole thing about it's just a casual relationship because he couldn't open up to her and just explain why. It's like that affects people to an extent where it damages relationships that they're having.
And that was a missed opportunity. She could have been the hope throughout this movie. She could have been like the anchor that sort of kept him tied to humanity a bit, but it just kind of went down almost went down a domestic violence sort of route, and it's not good grim. Sean, it's not good grim.
I'm gonna say, Rod, you've got such a like every cloud has a silver lining. You were like, maybe she'd be nice, and I was like, maybe she wouldn't be nice. Maybe she'd just be like,
So it's called Retaliation. It is out digitally, released digitally on Friday, the 26th of March. yeah, I don't know whether we've made you want to watch it. We probably have done the complete opposite. But let us know what you think of it if you have seen it down in the comments. And thank you for watching.
But if you love Orlando Bloom, you can watch this film. I think.
We're going to get all the Orlando fans on our backs now.
You can at me. It's fine. The Orlando Bloom fans will come for me. It's totally fine.
See you next time, everyone.